Yo, what do you do, guys? It is your boy, Leon Mookie here, back with you with another new chapter of the Heroic Gremory. And yeah, I'm giving you guys another chapter, just letting you guys know, it has been pretty damn strenuous trying to create chapters where Izuku gets his peerage members. Because, like I said before, I'm not trying to just hand them over to Izuku after all. Because, again, I have seen that of, OC devil characters getting peerages where they're already a part of their peerages, but they never really explain why outside of the canon, outside of that of, the characters mainly towards that of High School DxD. Like, it's always easy to just use Kiroka, for example, because, again, that's just pretty damn lazy. But everybody else outside of that, we never get any details on how they join their peerage after all. So it's kind of annoying. I don't want to fall under that. Hell, the reason I'm doing this is because again, the one person that was able to do this was the person that created that of Itachi Citri, where he basically created that of multiple lists of the people that he was interested in being part of his peerage after all. As again, he didn't just want any other normal people to be part of his peerage. He wanted those that he can trust and those with that of great potential. It's the same way how I want to do with this story. However, I also want to do things in between of Izuku getting his peerage members after all. So yeah, anyway, let's go through that of a quick recap. Izuku traveling the world for almost a year, developing his skills in magic alongside his demonic magic, while also trying to find more and more on that of ways to cure that of the devil's sleeping disease. But not only that, during his searches, he's also found perfect candidates for it to be part of his peerage as well. And he's already gotten that of at least two of them. One being that of an excommunicated mage from once part of the Golden Dawn, now planned on wandering the world, otherwise known as Marith Ordington, and a sacred gear user of the Longinus sacred gear, Elfeka Tyrant. And the second one being that of a devil hunter, otherwise a member of a human organization that goes by the Fatui, as his alias is known as Child. However, his real name is Talia, as he became a devil hunter for the Fatui, mainly just to look after that of his younger siblings, with Izuku wanting to help him in his endeavor, help him and his family. After all, those who are part of the Gremory family as servants, their family is his family as well. With that, Izuku has that of a new bishop and new knight. So, with all that said, let's get into this, shall we, guys? Chapter 5, The Lightning General. Another month has now passed since that of Marith and Talia basically joining Izuku's peerage. When Izuku basically told his mother and his father over that of a magic circle that he has that of two new peerage members, they were excited and happy, with also wondering how Rias is doing, basically keeping in track on how the family is going on, with Vanellana explaining that Rias has two new peerage members as well. Two boys actually, with Izuku completely caught off guard. He didn't expect that Rias would have that of male peerage members in that of her peerage, but I think that's a good thing for her. As Vanellana explains that one of their names is that of Gaspar Vladi, a Dampier that Rias basically saved during one of their vacations, and that's of Wallachia, and the other one was also another vacation in that of Italy. Elite, with hearing that, Izuku was a little worried, saying, "Don't worry, it wasn't. They weren't in that of church territory when they went to Italy. Actually, they went in that of a neutral territory in Italy that both factions could actually go to, which surprisingly was that of a resort town in the mountains." With that, Izuku was at least a little bit happy and glad that his family didn't really take any risk. But during so, Rias found that of another child that was on the verge of death, a boy by the name of Isaiah. Izuku is happy that his sister's peerage continues to grow and grow even more, but then Vanillette explains the pieces and also about the two boys as well. Turns out, Gasper is basically one giant shut-in and is nervous around everybody. The worst part is that he can't control his sacred gear. Within hearing that, Izuku wants to know, has Rias done anything to help the boy? With Vanillette saying that she has tried to tell him to calm down and relax a little bit, but every time when he has that of a panic attack, he activates his sacred gear without warning. The worst thing is that he's terrified when he uses his sacred gear all the time, when they're basically frozen in time, causes him to even freak out even more. Due to this, Surzech has had to make that of an opinion to allow that of Gasper to stay in one room and not have any contact with the outside world until he can get a better handle of his sacred gear. Within hearing that, Izuku couldn't help but feel a twitch happening, as normally he would never be this annoyed. But right now, it almost sounds like Surzech just told Rias to just put away her bishop who needs help. Because if anything, it's basically shown that Gasper is basically touch-starved, and especially to a huge degree, wanting to ask about Gasper's past, but realizing he doesn't have the right to, at least not now. Within asking about that of Rias' knight, Isaiah, asking about that of Rias' knight, Vanillette couldn't help but sigh, as she couldn't help but say, "It's not pretty, actually." Turns out the boy is originally from the church. Within hearing that, saying, "Are you serious?" Within, Vanillette nodding, explaining that what she heard from that of Rias, that he was in an orphanage run by the church, and they were planning to do some experiments. Turns out the experiments involved that of the holy sword Excalibur, one of the church's most prized possession holy swords, especially the fragments. Within hearing that, Izuku saying, "And how'd that go?" Within soon, Vanillette couldn't help but cross her arms around that of her ample chest below her. Within, she begins to squeeze tightly around her arms, and as noticing this, saying, "Turns out the children were defects," by the words of the boy himself. They even gassed the poor innocent girls and boys, all in the name of calling them defects, failures. As all the children tried to fight back to survive, one of them did. But then Izuku saying, "Isaiah." Then Vanillette nodding, saying, "Exactly." Turns out, unfortunately, the boy basically took in too much of the gas and basically was already on the verge of dying until Rias came in to save them. At first, he was refusal to basically bend the knee to a devil, but Rias convinced him to survive and live on, at least not just for her, but possibly for those who gave their lives for him. With that, Isaiah became a servant of the Gremory family, a knight. And not only that, he also has a sacred gear called Sword Birth. However, it only creates that of demonic swords, though. So if that's the case, the chances of him wielding a holy sword just because of a sacred gear alone was pretty low, especially a demonic sacred gear. With that, Izuku couldn't help but nod, saying, "Yeah, doubtful." But as Izuku began to think, as currently, in the current world as we live in now, it's hard for anybody. It feels weird. The world feels a lot more weirder, especially for those from that of the Abrahamic faith, being the devils, fallen angels, and angels. Izuku's been noticing this shift every time when he begins studying his magic, and he doesn't know the reason why, but it's just got him even more curious. However, putting that curiosity aside, saying, "So is he?" At first, for the past couple of months, he's been a pain, refusing to listen to anyone outside of Rias, calling them devil scum. I will not lie, it took us basically half of the half of the staff of maids and butlers not to kill the boy on sight. I even had a few close calls as well, not atomizing him. Within, Izuku couldn't help but gulp, realizing that pissing off his mother is basically the worst mistake anybody can do. Best example, when their father basically pisses her off without even trying, and basically hear a grown man scream like that of a little girl. So basically, a newly reincarnated devil basically disrespecting their mother is basically grounds for punishment. Within, soon, Izuku saying, "So, mother, what did you do to him?" Saying, "Let's just say I put the fear in him, after all." Within, saying, "So, basically, you terrified the hell out of him to basically force you to respect you out of fear." Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. With that, Izuku couldn't help but smile. As for Vanellina, she having that of a worried look on her, however, it arrived so quickly before Izuku could see it. With then saying, "So, Izuku, tell me, are you almost done with gathering your peerage members? You've been gone for almost that of a year and a half." Saying, "I understand, mother. I really do. But I want to continue to find the perfect peerage members. That entire year I was doing was more than just me finding peerage members. It was doing research all across the world and across the supernatural as well. I've already gotten a list of many people who I want to join. Not only that, I was also doing other research as well, and it's really important. So I didn't want to." But then she's saying, "I see. Still trying to find ingredients and research on that of the sleeping disease?" Within, Izuku nodding. Within, Vanellina saying, "Izuku, I know what you're doing is great, but sometimes there are some things in this world that can't be looked at. Some things that happen, we can't change them." Saying, "Maybe not, but there's nothing wrong with at least trying as much as we can while we can. I refuse to give up on that of Aunt Misla, no matter what." With that, soon, Vanellina couldn't help but sigh, saying, you truly are a kind-hearted and caring boy. Just be careful out there. The human world is just as dangerous here in the underworld, and many of our kind are truly not welcomed. Personally, I can't really blame the world for being wary of us. We basically have done nothing to, show that we are kind-hearted creatures. Especially, I've heard from many people who became reincarnated devils and how they were forced into peerages. Again, you can't blame the world for being wary of us, after all. But I will take your words with consideration, mother." With that, Vanellina saying, "That's all I can ask for. Please take care, dear." With that, the spell circle disappears. Within, Vanellina walking away as she basically lays down on that of her and her husband's bed. Then she couldn't help but think, "Izuku, please grow strong. More importantly, please be okay. The human world may hate us, but you must be wary of even your own kind as well." As Vanellina worries more and more for her youngest son. On the same end, the spell circle, being that of Izuku's personal Gremory spell circle, also disappears, as he soon heads back into that of a living room, where that of Kiroka, Namaya, Talia, and Marith as well. Then, soon, Marith shows off that of her sacred gear, Elfeka Tyrant, as Namaya was actually quite curious, alongside that of Talia, then Namaya saying, "That is truly something else. I've never seen Elfeka Tyrant before. And yet it's supposed to be the nail, it's supposed to be made out of the wood and the nails that basically pierced Jesus Christ on the cross. It looks like that of a sword." Marith couldn't help but smile, saying, "That's the beauty of Elfeka Tyrant. It can basically become anything that the wielder wants, made from the holy wood that nailed Jesus Christ. I choose to create that of a, wooden holy sword, actually. It makes it easier to channel my spells right through it, actually." Then, soon, Talia couldn't help but be quite impressed with that of Elfeka Tyrant, saying, so this is what a sacred gear truly looks like up close and personal. I won't lie, it's kind of terrifying. I can feel the Holy Order after becoming a devil for at least a few weeks or so. With then Kuroko saying, speaking of, don't you feel any bad, girl? I mean, don't you, the Holy Aura must be feeling pretty uncomfortable with a sacred gear like that. But then, soon, Marith blinking multiple times saying, that's what I thought too at first. After turning to a devil, I wanted to see if I could still use Elfeka Tyrant, even though it's a holy relic sacred gear, especially a Longinus sacred gear, that being my devil nature, I would be unable to even wield it ever again. But instead, I could. With then, soon hearing that, Izuku couldn't help but get even more curious, saying, really now? With then, Marith nodding, saying, yes. I believe that ever since Elfeka Tyrant was born within me, and I became that of a reincarnated devil, the holy energy of Elfeka Tyrant does not affect me, because it was already part of my soul before I became a devil. With then hearing that, soon Kuroko is saying, so that means jumping up in the air, having that of her pretty ample chest basically bounce everywhere. We have that of a holy user part of our team. Watch out, stray devils and noble devils of raiding games. We got a trump card that you won't know what hits you. With then, soon, as Kuroko continues jumping around in joy, Namaya couldn't help but basically smile in that of joy, looking at that of Kuroko so happy. With even Izuku couldn't help but smile somewhat embarrassedly at that of Kuroko's behalf after all. With then saying, not necessarily Kuroko. I mean, Elfeka Tyrant is useful, and Marith as well, but then, looking at Marith, as Marith couldn't help but blush at Izuku, as he has that of comforting and caring eyes towards that of the, silver-haired strawberry brunette, as he continues saying, Marith's main strength is that of being that of a mage after all. I'm guessing you didn't really use Elfeka Tyrant that much as a melee weapon. But then, she basically dematerializing that of the wooden sword, but then shaking her head saying, unfortunately, no, I didn't. I always focused more on using my spells than that of my sacred gear. If I had to use my sacred gear, and it was normally in combat, with that of stray devils, of course, is mainly used to basically weaken them, pin them down, and make them, and basically force them to flinch, or as that of a way to weaken them down. So, and for me to finish them off alongside that of my teammates and LeFay as well, with mentioning that of her best friend back at Golden Dawn. Part of her is still a little bit down, the fact that she will no longer see her best friend ever again. With then, soon, Izuku noticing this, saying, Marith, I know that this is rough, and honestly, you have all the right to feel this way, but we promise, we'll be your family as well. We'll always be here for you whenever you need it. Whenever you feel like you need to talk to any of us. We're here for you. Within, soon, hearing that, Marith couldn't help but hug Izuku, saying, thank you, Lord Izuku. I will take your kind words to heart. With that, soon, Izuku also couldn't help but smile. But then, Talia basically clearing his throat, saying, all things considered, I also wish to thank you too, Master Izuku. You helped out my siblings. At first, it was a little hard for me to continue. At first, it was hard to basically get my siblings somewhere safe. When I got a call for them and they told me that your servants came to take them in, I'm happy actually. With then saying, they're currently in the underworld right now at the Gremory estate. Don't worry, I know we won't be keeping them there forever. If you feel like it, I can ask that of my father or maybe even my older brother, if possible, to give you some private land so you and your siblings can live in peace and quiet, possibly somewhere else in the world that is devil territory. We have several territories in the United States that would be good. With then saying, you're too kind, Master Izuku, too kind indeed. But for that, I think we're good, at least for now. Knowing that my siblings are safe in your home, your estates, for example, is good enough for me. With that, Izuku couldn't help but smile, saying, "Glad I could be of service." With then saying, "So, we've been here, given that we've been here for a month, and you guys have acclimated pretty well to now being devils, I think we need to move on to the next member of the next member of the peerage that we need to recruit." With then hearing this, Namaya, alongside that of Kiroka, getting serious, saying, "So, who is next, young master?" Within, Izuku, creating that of another spell circle, as it's soon having that of a diagram of the earth. As it continues to spin, within, soon certain locations begin to pop up. As it being that of 3 glowing dots. One looking like it's in that of Europe, while one is currently in that of India, while another is currently in that of Japan. With then saying, "Here. We're the closest here, so I think it's best that we go there." Seeing that of the location within Marith and saying, "That's in Poland." With soon, Talia is going to say, "Yes. Oh, I didn't think we would head close to Poland. If anything, I'm quite impressed. So who's in Poland?" Within soon, feeling the signature saying, "So it's him. Not surprising he would go all the way there." With then soon, Kiroka saying, Who? Lord Izuku?" With Izuku looking at that of the Neku shell, saying, "It seems that the Lightning General is there." With then, hearing that, Namai saying, "So, he's gone all the way there? It's only been a year since he left the Chinese Pantheon, and yet he's already arrived in Europe." Marith couldn't help but blink, saying, "The Lightning General? I don't think I've heard of him before." As Talia begins thinking more and more, within realizing, Oh, the Lightning General? You mean that of the White Lion of the Chinese Pantheon? The Guardian of the Jade Palace? The Storm Titan? Jing Yuan? With then soon hearing that name, within Marith saying, Oh, Jing Yuan. You mean that Lightning General? I've heard rumors of him. A mere man that was given the gift of thunder by the heavenly Buddhas himself of the Chinese Pantheon, all to be their guardian protector. But to think that he left? But why?" Within, Izuku saying, "That's what I want to know myself. That's why," within, soon, looking a little bit differently, instead of wearing that of the same casual look that he wore when he first met that of Marith and that of Talia, as he's wearing that of a green jumpsuit, actually, with that of black shin guards, red boots, white gloves, with that of black arm guards as well, and that of a metal mask. But then behind it being that of a hood. However, the hood has that of eye holes, which makes it a cowl. With then, as this is Izuku's battle attire, with then soon seeing that outfit, is then Namai saying, "So you're going out in your battle outfit?" But then Kiroka saying, "If you are doing that, shouldn't we tag along as well?" With then Izuku saying, "As much as I would appreciate you guys being there, and I really do, this is something I feel like I should take care of myself. I've read that of Jing Yuan's profile and his past. It's true that he is a man of strength and a man of power, and is considered to be the strongest human in our current era. So that's why I'm interested in him. I'm interested in seeing on what kind of abilities he's truly capable of. Not only that, he's a reasonable man too. So I think as long as I don't come too threatening, I'm just mainly wearing this as precaution after all." With it, as Izuku trying to give that of a comforting and believing smile. However, Namaya and Kiroka, on the other hand, can't take it seriously, knowing that Izuku is trying to be more positive, which isn't reassuring them whatsoever. But then Izuku saying, "Sorry if I'm being too risky. I just want to see if I can do this myself. Promise." With that, Kiroka couldn't help but walk over to Izuku before basically hugging him deeply. However, while hugging him, she basically shoves his face between that of her cleavage, making Izuku face go red. Even though he's used to it, it still catches him off guard from time to time. But then saying, just make sure you come back in one piece, Izuku. Just saying his name, showing that Kuroka is truly serious, wanting him to be safe. Within, soon, Marith can help but say, I just became a devil. Just don't get yourself killed, okay, master? With Talia also basically smiling, saying, yeah, I mean, you've done so much for my siblings and I. It would be crazy if you basically got yourself killed before I get to know you even more. Hearing the words of his servants, Izuku couldn't help but smile, saying, thank you. Thank you all. I'll come back safe. Promise. After that, he creates out of the spell circle, heading straight for Poland in its capital. Nearing that of the southwest of Poland and nearing that of the countryside, where that's of a small town called Sinla, as it's quite a, quiet night, but with many people still enjoying themselves quite a bit. However, in the outskirts of this town, in the countryside, in that of a wooden cottage, lies that of one man, a Chinese man, with that of pale white blonde hair, tied in that of a ponytail, as he has that of a large bang covering that of the left side of his eye, as he's currently wearing that of Chinese attire as well, just like Child, actually. However, it seems more royal or nobility, to be honest, while also wielding that of a large blade, as it's known as a crescent blade, close to that of a sword, however, mainly used as that of a Chinese spear. And in this cottage is that of a fire burning over that of a pot. With then looking at the fire, as this Chinese man is named Jing Yuan, the Lightning General, the former guardian of the Jade Palace and the Storm Titan, as many others know him, as he couldn't help but reminisce, thinking, have I chosen the right path? Have I chosen truly the right decision? Within, the man looking up, even though he can't see that of the night sky, he can still feel the air and the mana in the air. He could still feel the shifts, saying, it seems that they have come. I really hope that this is the right choice. Then soon, a spell circle appears in that of a bright green light. With Izuku still not having that of his rebreather or his cowl on, he moves to that of the cottage, saying, I'm guessing this is the place. With then, soon walking up, as he's about to knock on the door, with then saying, you can come in, boy. I've been expecting you. But then Izuku freaking out a little bit, saying, what? Wait, you... Saying, please, no need to cause any more coyness. Just come in. As Izuku was still pretty shocked that he was waiting to speak to him. As then opening the door, seeing that of the white blonde-haired man, with then soon saying, please, boy, take a seat. Within, Izuku a little bit nervous and worried, as then Izuku takes the seat, within wondering, I hear you are the boy known as Izuku Gremory, the younger brother of the current Satan Lucifer, Surzeches. Within saying, so you know me that much? I keep up to date with that of the devil affairs. Before I basically roamed the world, I was still just that of a trainee of that of the Jade Palace of the Royal Grand Guard. When I heard that the Satan Lucifer had that of siblings, and now the current Lucifer's younger sibling has taken an interest in me, just as he foretold. Within saying, who? Within, Jing Yuan couldn't help but smirk, saying, the Supreme Buddha, of course. Within, Izuku's eyes widened in shock, but saying, the Supreme Buddha was the one who told me to go on this journey of self-discovery and reflection. He told me that I would find somebody who I would truly see as my master, the one person who I believe was more worthy than even him. Originally, I called blasphemy, because as a soldier, as a general, and as a leader, there was no other person to serve than those of the great gods of the Chinese, especially those of the Buddha as well. Within hearing that, Izuku couldn't help but feel a little bit down, thinking that this is some kind of destined prophecy for Jing Yuan, that he was destined to serve Izuku, with Izuku not even liking that himself, as he wanted to find Jing Yuan for himself, not force him to join him if he had to do so for some mystic obligation. Within, soon, Jing Yuan seeing the look of concern and confliction on that of the boy, saying, "Please raise your head up, boy. Do not feel sorry or feel responsible for some cosmic destiny. I do not believe in such things. What things were meant to happen. I am following nearly the orders I was given by that of the Supreme Buddha. Nothing more, nothing less. But now I want to know why I was forced to follow, why I had to follow those orders, and why I had to wait for you. I have been waiting for you for almost that of a good 3 years now. I have been on this journey of so-called self-discovery, wondering why I was forced to leave the general's army, why I had to disband my company, and why I had to leave my duty as the protector of the Chinese Pantheon's Jade Palace. I even had to lie to my men, saying that I have no need of serving such people. I have no need for weaklings part of my squad, so they will no longer feel dedicated or devoted to me ever again. Simple as that. So now I must know why. Why are you truly here, boy? Are you here to have me serve you? If that is what the Buddha wished for me, saying, but then Izuku cut him off, saying, "I don't want you to serve me if you don't want to." Within hearing that, Jing Yuan was caught off guard. But then Izuku saying, "You have a right to choose. You have a right to become a reincarnated devil under my peerage and become one of my servants. That is your decision. I will not force this on you, or you do not have to feel obligated to do so. I have the will of of the God you serve, the God that you believe in, the one true Buddha. May be the ultimate deity and the main religion of the Chinese Pantheon and Buddhism. But you are free to make your own decisions, Jing Yuan. I heard so much great things about you. An amazing man, a mere mortal, chosen by that of the great Supreme Buddha himself, trained into that of the divine court of the Chinese Pantheon, as that of a mere mortal, under that of demigods, rised up in the ranks to become something more and more powerful, raised up to the ranks to become the first mortal general and guardian of the Jade Palace. It also helps that the magic that you wield is no ordinary magic, but the magic of the mystic lightning, magic that rivals the divine, such as the gods. Within hearing this, Jing Yuan couldn't help but be impressed, saying, "You know your stuff, boy. Quite a bit. You know quite a bit of my origin and past. I am quite impressed." Within, Izuku seeing the food and saying, "What are you cooking?" Within, Jing Yuan saying, I was feeling a bit nostalgic for a bit of my food from homeland. So, within, soon opening the pot, as it being that of meat buns. Within saying, it was hard to find the materials that I need here in Poland, but the ingredients I did buy were a great substitute. So, nothing too out of the ordinary. Would you care for one, young Gremory? Within, offering a meat bun towards Izuku. Within, Izuku saying, "Ooh, hot, hot, hot." Saying, still a little sensitive, I see, for a lad. Within, Izuku couldn't help but blush a little bit in embarrassment before eating the bun, saying, "This is really good." Within, saying, "Try my best to make things as much as I can. But even so, you say you know so much about me. Tell me, why are you so interested in me?" Within, Izuku finish eating his last bite of his meat bun while putting it down a bit, saying, "Well, It's because you are a great person, a strong and powerful hero. Saying, you see me as a hero. But then Izuku nodding, saying, yeah, I mean, you're basically a hero of legend in the modern day, in the modern era. So many people are so interested in the heroes of the past, heroes that only care more about their exploits, their bloodline, or what they have done. Nobody cares about the heroes of the now, those who have done so much greatness. You were able to defeat so many powerful foes who threatened the Chinese pantheon, even that of many devils who sought entrance into that of Tian, the realm of the heavens up for the divine of the Chinese pantheon. You were the guardian that protected all of them, and you were just a mere mortal, a human that only wanted to see the protection of that of his homeland, of that of the great China that you believe in. But then, soon, Jing Yuan saying, the great China, you say? That's funny. Within, soon, I have been in that of Tian, the land, the heavens of China for so long, training to be their guardian. You know what I saw in that of the mortal lands of China? You know what I saw about the mortals that lived there, the people that I vowed to protect. I saw them as nothing but cattle for their own government, nothing but tools for them. I've always thought that it was just the norm, just how it's always been seen. But after experiencing something as that of heavenly, something that no mere mortal from China would ever experience, I realized something. From the point of view of from the gods of Tian, from the gods that the Chinese people worship, from their point of view, we are insects, pathetic, worthless. We basically destroyed their whole nation as a whole, and believe that we are truly the greatest in the land, in all of humanity, of all nations across the world. But in fact, we are no different from that of the tool. We are basically used as nothing but tools to the rest of the world. Our people are basically forced to believe that we are the greatest, even though we also basically discriminate and look down on ourselves as well. We are nothing but cattle to our own government, and we are nothing but insects to our own gods. We are basically have been forgotten by the world. We may be the eldest nation that has existed for all of eternity, from throughout that of human history. But sooner or later, the once nation known as China will disappear. And the worst part is, the gods of the Chinese pantheon and the Buddha have already foreseen it to begin in that of a good 10 years. Hearing that, Izuku saying, an entire country on the verge of collapse. But why won't the gods do anything? They have the power. Saying, why should they? The mortals can fend for themselves. It's how it's always been for every other pantheon of gods. While gods have that of the worship and followers, they will not do anything to intervene in the affairs of mortals. This was basically done to make sure that another great war doesn't happen. Even that of the Buddhist and alongside the Chinese pantheon know this. That is why I believe the Supreme Buddha wanted me to be far away from the collapse of our nation. Sooner or later, once the collapse happens, many of the people of China will possibly go to gods, go to religion, from that of Buddhism to even that of Christianity, possibly even becoming that many other religions as well. Sooner or later, the gods of the pantheons will possibly have more and more prayers and grow stronger as time goes on. Until that happens, the nation of China is on borrowed time, with taking another bite of his meat bun. But then, Izuku saying, I see. So the Supreme Buddha is basically sparing you from that pain of seeing your nation, your home, basically be destroyed. Even though it's the land of my birth, even though it's the birthplace of my homeland, it's no longer my home. I gave that up once I became the Lightning General and protector of the Jade Palace. But I won't lie, it still hurts, knowing that I can't do anything about it. Within soon hearing this, Izuku couldn't help but look down before saying, "But what if I do something about it?" Within soon hearing that, saying, "You?" saying, "I may not be the heir of the Gremory family, but I am working hard on something else. I can put the destabilization of China on a list of, if that's possible." Saying, "You? You are just a mere devil. If I recall, you're not even the heir of your clan, of your family. Yeah, that would be your twin sister, would it not be? Why would you want to help my nation?" Saying, I still want to do so. Even if you don't join my peerage, I don't want to see tons of innocent people suffer and basically leave destitute and see their homes destroyed. The homeland that they built so many years trying to protect and build. Even if their government has abandoned them, even if their gods have abandoned them, I may be a devil, but I won't abandon them. And that is my truth. And that is what I believe in. But then, hearing this, Jing Yuan couldn't help but be curious. Be shocked, saying, "I see. So tell me, what would you do?" Within saying, "If I can, over the year, for at least a good year or so, I've been looking for a way to cure a certain disease that us devils are suffering from. But also during that time, I've built connections. I have built that of partnerships with that of not just the Norse Pantheon, but also a few other organizations as well. A certain broker organization that got me the information about you basically going on your journey. I could also ask them for aid to help me prevent China from collapsing. If China collapsed, it won't just affect that of, well, the people of China, but it will also affect the entirety of the human world as well, since many nations still rely on China after all." Within saying, "That is true. It would affect many nations that rely on China's craftsmanship for many of their products after all. However, other nations would be able to fill that role, such as Vietnam and South Korea, for example, even Taiwan as well. But that still wouldn't change the fact that I would want to still help China from collapsing. Nothing will change that." Within saying, "What do you get out of this?" Saying, "What do I get out of this? Nothing. Just helping people is what needs to be necessary. It's just the right thing to do." Within hearing those words, the Jing Yuan begins to remember the words of the Supreme Buddha before he told him to leave. As he told him to leave on that day, as the Supreme Buddha, nothing but just a mere figure with that of his legs crossed, hand up in the air, and just basically nothing but just a glowing being. Nobody can even see his face, saying, "Jing Yuan, the great general I have trusted that we have trusted with the protection of our heavens, of the heavens of China. I wish for you to disband your company and leave that of Tian. Go on a journey of self-discovery. During this discovery, you will find somebody that you will also serve. You will serve him mainly because of his ideals. The ideas of protecting those who cannot protect themselves. To him, just helping those in need is the right thing to do, even with no reward in return. He would be known as a symbol of darkness to the modern era, and to that of humanity and to us. But in reality, he is truly a hero in darkness." With that, Jing Yuan completely caught off guard as the glow disappears, saying, I am disbanding everything I worked for, everything I believed in, just so to serve something of darkness, possibly a demon, a yokai? No, a devil. Even if that's the case, I will have to serve. This is my duty. It is what I was given by the Supreme Buddha himself. If that is the case, then I will follow it to the very end, even if I don't like it. After that, Jing Yuan walks away about to disband his company, the squad that he built after so many years, with then soon getting out of the flashback. Originally, he used to thought that everything that he did was the worst things of his life. That this decision by the Supreme Buddha would be nothing but a torturous decision. But now, maybe, just maybe that this was the right thing to do. Maybe the Supreme Buddha was leading him to a better path, to a better master that valued life, who valued all life than his own. Within soon, Jing Yuan couldn't help but smirk, saying, "So, this is who you truly are, Izuku Gremory." Saying, "You wish for me to join your peerage? I'll accept, but on one condition." Within soon, grabbing that of his crescent blade, as soon walking out of the cottage, saying, "You must face me. We are not going to fight, but I wish to test your might, test your resolve. I will not serve somebody who cannot defend themselves and cannot defend those that are under his care." Within saying, "I see. Figured as much. That's why I came prepared." After that, soon putting on that of his rebreather and then his cowl. With that, soon lightning begins to channel through that of his body. But then soon fire and then water. Next up, wind. As Jing Yuan couldn't help but be impressed. Within soon, all four elements begin to wrap around Izuku's body, creating that of a bright green glow that almost feels like that of a layer of armor, but not just armor, but also increasing his speed, durability, and power. Within saying, "This is quite impressive. I can sense a demonic magic, but I can also sense elemental magic included." Within, Izuku smiling under his rebreather, saying, "This is my form of my bloodline magic, my clan trait of the Gremorys, the power of manifest. I can manipulate and warp magic however I see fit to become almost like I am basically controlling magic itself around my body, altering it to any form I wish. I've basically taken four elements, wrapped it around my body, creating that of not just the armor and a shield, but also increasing my power and physical abilities as well." Within hearing this, saying, "I see. Well then," as then slamming that of his blade, the butt end of his blade, onto the ground, as then soon a barrier appears, while then lightning begins to crackle everywhere around that of Jing Yuan and Izuku, as the yellow lightning flashes everywhere, as it almost feels like the ground itself is shaking, as then Jing Yuan saying, "Now let's see if you can handle lightning born from the heavens themselves." With then soon a titanic being of pure lightning magic, of mystic lightning magic, wraps around that behind of Jing Yuan, having the same crescent blade as his. Within soon, Jing Yuan also, as the Titan also mimics that of Jing Yuan, as he spins the blade before wrapping around the right side of his body, looking like he's about to strike. As for Izuku, he prepares, readies himself. Within saying, "He's truly strong, truly powerful. He could be on the peak of that of high class, possibly even that of low ultimate class. If that's the case, then this is truly the lightning general of the Chinese pantheon." As even though Izuku was worried, however, his face behind that of his cowl and his rebreather say differently, as he's basically smiling, with his eyes even looking prepared and ready, saying, my own version of the Tenkara formula is still not ready. However, I can use another thing to help me defend myself from this attack." As then, his spell circle around that of his arms, as soon they slide right through that of his arms, as the spell circle materializes that of Thor's iron gauntlets. Instead of using them to basically deal that of striking power, he uses them as mainly as that of a second layer of defense. With Jing Yuan noticing this, saying, so he's trying to prepare to tank the attack instead of trying to take me out himself. Let's see if I can test that resolve of yours, young devil. As then preparing with one final slash, as bringing it down as fast as he can, at the same time as that of the lightning titan as well, saying, here, I'll finish this with the master stroke. As soon as he says this, the blade comes straight at Izuku, both from that of Jing Yuan and the lightning titan. Within, Izuku channeling the full-fledged of his demonic magic, alongside that of the power of manifest as well, as the elements wrap around that of the iron gauntlets. Within soon, Izuku, with that of a full-fledged speed as that of a devil, he runs towards that of the attack. However, instead of trying to match it blow for blow, instead, he holds it back with every fiber of his might. Within, Izuku, feeling the struggle and pain from that of the attack, trying his best to hold it back, is gritting his teeth and bearing it with every might of his body, with Jing Yuan seeing this young devil, not trying to overwhelm him, not trying to surpass him, and not trying to make him submit to him, but instead bearing everything that he has towards this young devil, realizing that he has taken on devils even stronger than this young boy, and yet he believes he can handle it. He believes he can stand up to it. He believes he is strong enough to be his equal, or rather, to be his superior. Within, Jing Yuan seeing the look on Izuku's eyes through that of his cowl. However, those are not the eyes of somebody feeling the overwhelming force of an attack. No, those are the eyes of somebody who is determined to stand his ground, the eyes of a young man who wants to prove that he is worthy, the eyes of a young man who would stand even against his own kind for his ideals. This is the young man that the Supreme Buddha has told Jing Yuan to follow. This is the young man that he does, even now, sees as his new master. As then, Jing Yuan thinking to himself, saying, maybe that this is truly the right time. This is the boy, no, the man that I must follow. He's not a fighter, he is a protector. Now I truly see it. That soon, instead of trying to finish off Izuku, within the attack holds back. Within soon, Izuku no longer feeling the force of the mystic lightning, no longer going through that of his body or him trying to hold it back. As then soon falling to the ground before using his wings to level himself, as Izuku actually has that of 2 sets of devil wings, being that of 4 wings, as he soon lowers himself to the ground. Within, Jing Yuan dematerializes that of his titan, within saying, you've passed, Izuku Gremory. Saying, I passed? Yes, you have passed. I will serve you now as your servant. And I will be part of your peerage. And as your peerage and as your servant, I will devote my life protecting you. But I will expect you to keep your promise and try to stabilize my homeland in the coming of years. Will you keep this promise? With Izuku removing his cowl and his rebreather, as a little bit of blood basically is dripping on the corners of his mouth, as trying to withstand quite a bit of mystic lightning. It may not be on the same level as divine lightning or holy lightning, but it's still pretty close there. Within saying, well then, I'll keep you to that. Well, I will protect you. I will keep you safe and make sure to keep you from any foe that will harm you. As your blade. Within, materializing in his hand, and that of his spell circle being that of his evil peace set, saying, originally I thought that you would be perfect as that of a pawn, or maybe even that of a queen, but now I realize You are truly perfect as a rook, especially as my mutated rook. Your power is truly beyond, even already close to that of an ultimate class. Within, Jing Yuan can help but say, I have been taken on that of ultimate class beings before. They pushed me to my limit, but even so, I was still able to win. So maybe that is perfect for me, Master Izuku. Within, putting the mutated piece into that of Jing Yuan. Within, soon, Jing Yuan feeling that of the evil piece circling within him, saying, do not feel any different yet, but I guess it will take time. Saying, yeah, it will take time, possibly at least a good few minutes or so. After saying that, saying, yes, I can now start to feel it. I could even feel the night giving me more power than before. This is what it truly feels like to be a devil, it seems. But then Izuku saying, so, you truly don't have any regrets doing this? Saying, no, I do not. This is my decision, my choice, and I have choose to serve you, Lord Izuku. Within, stabbing that of his crescent blade into the ground, with soon taking that of a Chinese salute, as bowing his head while slamming his fist into the palm of his hand. Within, saying, for as till this day, I, Jing Yuan, the Lightning General, the Storm Lion, and former guardian of the Jade Palace, will serve you to the ends of the earth as your servant. I vow on my honor. With that, Izuku's now has his first rook. And that's it. Thank you guys for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Please tell me what you guys think in the comments below. Love to read them. So, how do you guys like this? I didn't want just Izuku to just get his peerage members. Like I said before, I need to work my ass off to make sure that it makes sense. For Jing Yuan, it only makes sense that Izuku needed to prove himself not just with words, but with actions as well. For Jing Yuan, his duty as that of a soldier is what matters the most. And when given an order to basically disband everything that he knows to follow that of a devil, a boy, that of a being that is basically the enemy of all pantheon, of all the supernatural, as people like to see it, to him it would seem like that of a betrayal. But now knowing that Izuku is no mere devil and is more than that, actually, Jing Yuan would willingly follow Izuku to the ends. And now Izuku has another thing that he needs to put on his list, basically trying to save an entire nation and country. That's going to be easier said than done, but as a devil, he probably might get it done in at least that of a year or two. Good thing he's 14, so he probably might get it done before canon even starts. So yeah. Also, like I said before, 2 members of Izuku's Peerage won't be joining until canon starts. As for the other members, I'm going to try my best to make it make sense on them joining. Invile will be easy after all. Izuku just needs to find a cure for the sleeping disease, which is easier said than done. As for the other 4, well, you just got to wait and see. So, if you guys like this, please like, comment, and subscribe. Hit that bell notification to keep to date my videos on uploading the channel. Also, please check out my Discord, gaming channel, main channel, side channel, Cash App, and Patreon. All link in the description below if I'm not too lazy to do so. So, with all that said, this is Izuku, signing out. Later, guys, and hope you all take care.